Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tusky, and we drink, we know things.
Today is Tuesday, October 4th, and we are back after a mini hiatus. After life happens sometimes, and you just gotta take some time off. And we're back, and we're talking, and no real topic tonight. We're just gonna run through our segments, but there's so much embedded in those segments tonight that we will probably take the full time of our podcast. So, without further ado, let's scream into the horror corner with Joe. Joe, what do you got?
A lot.
Okay, and
So,
I have some tasty morsels for the end. So,
oh, fantastic! So
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a couple movie reviews that I finally
Okay.
got around to watching.
Nice.
First is the remake of Goodnight Mommy.
Okay.
Which the original, it was a Swedish film. I don't think that's right, but basically a foreign film. And it's mother comes home with a completely bandaged face after having a shit ton of plastic surgery, and is having difficulty with her two twin boys.
Okay.
And the remake is basically a completely watered down version of the original. It's seems to be like Let the Right One In, where it's like, why did they even make this? They should have just stuck with the original. Naomi Watts is in it, and she does a good job. But I mean, again, it's just if you just watch the original,
Sure. Okay.
It's kind of really not worth it.
All right.
Yeah, the original is so much like grittier and scarier and more like fucked up.
Oh, sure.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I guess you watch this one if you want the watered down version that's a little more palatable.
Okay.
But yeah, I would just
Where's the fun in that, though? I mean,
yeah, you're not gonna watch Goodnight Mommy for like a feel good happy movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't like my horror watered down.
Yeah. So that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But the palate cleanser is a movie called Fresh with Daisy Edgar Jones and Sebastian Stan.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sebastian Stan in a horror movie. I was like, okay, I have to watch this. Absolutely.
Dude, he's been putting in some work.
Mhm.
I still can't get the image of him as Tommy Lee out of my head.
I still need to watch that.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I don't think need is the right term there. It's like, I don't know if I want to.
All right. Yeah, it's burned into my brain. He owned that role fairly well. So
Yeah, I saw Tommy Lee's most recent dick pic, so that was enough Tommy Lee for me.
Yeah, good lord.
But yeah, Fresh is an excellent movie. Absolutely go watch it, and you're never gonna look at Sebastian Stan the same way again.
Okay.
But in my case, this made me love him more.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, the premise is it's a cautionary tale about dating in this day and age, and meeting
gotcha.
people, and they turn out to be not what you expected.
Okay.
So definitely
like
check
it.
that out.
Okay. And that's Fresh?
It's Fresh, and that's on Hulu.
The Hulu. Okay.
The Hulu, and I'm not even going to tell you where Goodnight Mommy is because there's no point. Thank
you.
It's on Amazon.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
And then into the meat and potatoes. So where to start? I'm just going to start with Hellraiser is coming out on Friday, and we got the trailer, and it looks so good. I watched it like 8 times.
Yeah, I'm scared to know how much you're gonna watch the movie. Like, you're probably just gonna lock in and watch it the whole weekend.
I thought you were going to lead with Interview with the Vampire. Like,
no, I gotta get my Hellraiser squeeing out of the way.
Right.
But yeah, I can't wait to see Pin Mommy, and I wanted her to step on my neck, and
It is those Pin Mommy.
I cannot wait. So there was a surprise screening at Fright Fest. Is it Fright Fest? I think it's Fright Fest.
Something like that, yeah.
And everybody loved it. Like, all the reviews coming out are just, it's perfect. It's awesome. no bad reviews, no poo-pooing, nothing. It's awesome.
Oh wow, that's
So
great.
Okay.
now
So
I'm
is
just
this one of the
like,
movies I need to watch this month for the
Oh
you guys
no,
still
yeah,
have to
we still.
design that gauntlet.
That's right.
oh
We still need to
yeah,
come up with our. You know what? But this is a good one because I think we're all gonna watch it anyway. This is good for. This is a good review, especially in the wake of sort of these nostalgia remakes. I think we definitely need to all sort of watch this. And
yeah,
although, yeah,
and
this isn't Nate's normal normal walk in the park. So
I mean,
I
you
think
said pin mommy step on my neck, so I have to admit my curiosity's peaked a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
let's. You know what? I honestly, this is a very good movie. Number one, without having seen it, but if it is any way, shape, or form a sort of a remake of the first, but it's not supposed to be, right? This is
no, it's a standalone. It's
right.
they say so. They say it's more based on, or it's closer based to the book, which
Right.
the plot of the book is the first movie for the most part. But I
Okay.
guess Pinhead being played by a woman who's more androgynous, because in the book, like, the Cenobites don't have gender or anything.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
completely androgynous. So in that
Right.
respect, it's closer to the book. But
Okay.
as far as the plot line goes, it's obviously from the trailer, it's not the first movie at all. The characters are
Right.
completely different.
Yeah.
They do have things that kind of harken back to the first two movies,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just like little things, little blips. Like,
All right. Yeah. You know what, Nate? I think for October, I think this is Joe. Are you cool with this being movie number one for
Yeah.
Nate's ascent
sure.
into horror? Okay.
Decent, I think, is what you meant to say there.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm
All
gonna
right.
rate.
So yeah,
I'm gonna
movie
rate
number
these
one
on
will
a-
be Hellraiser. Movies number 2 and 3 will be discussed on and revealed at a later date.
TBD.
It's
Okay,
TBD.
and I'll give this a side kitten scale.
Yes, please.
And should we go out of
Absolutely.
10, or do we want to stick with 5?
You know what? Let's go 10 side kittens. I
think that way I can turn it up to 11 if I need to. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So
Hopefully,
as long as we
Hellraiser is an 11 side kitten movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's establish the rubric real quick, and then we can move.
Okay.
All right.
But we'll plan. Yeah, and let's plan on taking some time to review this proper on the
Cool.
next podcast.
On the next podcast. So you're giving me a deadline already. I thought this was end of the month.
Yeah, all right.
It comes out Friday, Nate. You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have other things to watch on Friday, like Werewolf by Night hits Disney Plus on Friday, October 7th, which is something I wanted to talk about for the horror corner once Joe's done.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's get into that.
Ooh,
Okay.
We'll just do the October 7th rundown.
maybe we
go.
do Andy's first, and then I can use mine to transition.
Okay. Sure. Oh, did you want to do the Marvel Minute in the middle? Are you going to be
It's
the
up to
middle
you.
piece today?
No, it's up to you. I can be the bread, or I can be the spicy filling.
All right. Well, you know what? Because we'll probably have girthier discussions around House of Dragon and Ring of
Yeah.
Power. So let's. I'll save mine for the last, and then. So with October here, Jamie and I wanted to watch a scary movie on Saturday night, and so I'm part of the Shudder Horror Fans Facebook group, and these guys have some wonderful suggestions. And I was rolling down, and there was a lot of get your ass out and see Barbarian right away.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, and so that's but then moving past that, somebody had the suggestion of watching a movie called Bloody Hell on Hulu. And this is about a sort of a guy in the wrong place at the wrong time who stops a bank robbery. And you find all of this out in the first 10 minutes. Stops a bank robbery in probably the most awesome way possible, but goes a little sadistic on the robbers. And so as he's heralded a hero in the media, but then, with today's culture, he's sort of he gets sent to prison because he went a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
And this is what it is, right? But half of the population
Because
loves
of the
him.
law, you mean?
Of the law, but
Okay.
half of the population loves him, half of the population thinks he's a monster, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
So he gets out of prison and decides that, you know what, he's just gonna get up and get out of the country, goes to Helsinki, Finland, and shit happens. I'm just gonna stop it there. But I love this movie. Like, this is a full 10 side kittens for me. It is so great. If you hear a jingling, Nate, that is my cat running around
Like,
my house.
where are the bells? The bells!
Right. No, that is the newest member of the Drake family, Shadow Drake, and I feel so stupid for getting a black female kitten and not naming it Selena Kyle. Shame on me.
Yeah,
Shame on me, but we have Shadow, and Shadow is great. Anyway, Bloody Hell on Hulu. This is such a fantastic movie. The lead actor nails it. There is a lot of chatting with his alternate personality, which is it's like some of the best sort of back and forth. And I don't know. I don't want to spoil it because Joe, I would love for you to watch this and take it in.
I'll check it out.
It's a very quick hit too. I think it's a little bit less than 2 hours, and it's really good. So Bloody Hell on Shudder, check it out. The next thing that I came across was Bite Size Halloween on Hulu. These
I
are
did not get to this. Damn it.
that's okay, and that's totally okay. These are 3 to 7 to 10 minute little horror shorts on Hulu that there are 2 seasons of them. There's probably, I don't know, like 50 some odd episodes of this. You go through them super quick. Some of them range from freaky to scary to totally nuts to hilarious and great. One of my favorite ones is called The Unicorn. And I can't explain it without giving way too much away. There's also the one with the bear, also not going to say anymore, but if you guys want to dig into some of these and like not end up watching these all back to back, because that's exactly what I did. So that's my contribution to the horror corner. Bite Size Halloween on Hulu. If you need some quick hitting horror, go for it. It's fantastic. 2 seasons. You won't be disappointed.
Nice. That reminds me, I actually got, I'm almost caught up with American Horror Stories.
Nice.
And which was the one that you wanted me to watch?
Milkmaids? Did you watch that one?
Oh my god. Ew. Yeah, I dry heaved. Like, I literally almost yarfed.
Oh
my God.
I was like,
man.
Oh my god.
Don't get me wrong. There are some great episodes in this season. Milkmaids is not one of them.
Oh no. God, no.
It is like by far one of the biggest, like,
yeah, if it makes me want to gag and yarf, then that's saying something.
Right. Yeah.
Bro House was hilarious.
Oh no. Oh man. Bro House was great. Yeah. Yeah. There is the regular American Horror Story is coming back on October 19th, by the way.
New York City.
New York City. And all of the art is just like S&M, like bondage, like stuff. So curiosity is definitely peaked for what this season's going to roll out with. But
right.
Yeah. So what else? Nate, you want to jump into your...
Yeah, let's jump into a little Marvel horror stuff, because apparently on Friday we get Werewolf by Night, which hopefully you guys saw the trailer for. That is really cool, like throwback to the 50s, maybe 40s and 50s old classic monster movies. And apparently this project is really like a giant mashup of a bunch of old monster movies kind of put together. Ooh. It's not just Werewolf by Night. And what's really cool about this is apparently it's also going to kind of reveal a whole supernatural dimension to the MCU. So it's not a one-off. It is a one-off special, but it's also peeling back the corner of monsters in the MCU and confirming that they will pop up again down the line. But Kevin Feige's quote was better here. We're introducing a world that will ultimately become quite important to the future of the MCU. We wanted to explore entirely new characters, entirely new sides of the MCU with this unusual, fun, and frightening spin on the supernatural. And then the director is the one who was quoted as saying this is a giant mashup of older monster movies. So
Nice. Okay.
Werewolf by Night is just a giant mashup love letter to all those old movies that I absolutely loved and lived on growing up. Some of the scariest things I saw as a kid were just the shadows of things. All the awful things you hear. For us, that was the goal. So I'm really excited for this and just what it could mean overall in the MCU. You think about Midnight Suns, which is a group, a super hero group or super human group of kind of crime fighters and night fighters, and they all basically try to keep the dark forces at bay. So it's it's a lot of fun stuff there. So
okay.
We'll see what happens. This could lead into a bunch of Ghost Rider / Blade / Black Knight / all that stuff, kind of ways to get those things into the MCU. So that'll be really fun. And then kind of horror adjacent, Blade is just a lot of problems with Blade. They lost their director. And filming got pushed back, and the plot details reportedly were revealed at some point. I didn't even read that because I didn't want to. So there's a lot of drama happening with Blade. So hopefully, apparently Mahershala Ali is not impressed either with what's happening.
Oh
so
no! Let's hope it doesn't get Batgirled.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think Marvel would pull that.
I know
shoot
Marvel
themselves
won't do
in the
that.
foot like that. But
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of Batgirl, although that's not related here, did you see there's a bunch of like stills and little video clips and stuff that the Star released? And
yeah, she released a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
I didn't watch any of it, but
yeah, hopefully she's not getting hurt for that stuff because that's brutal.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently they screened it on the lot too for people who worked on the film.
Right.
So
yeah,
because they're just not allowed to make money off of it or ever release it. So that sucks.
Right.
Let's see what else. Horror adjacent. That's all I got for the horror adjacent.
Oh,
stuff.
hold on. Okay, before you get into the Marvel Minute, Joe, did you watch Dahmer?
Of course I did.
How was it?
It's really, really good.
Okay.
And very unsettling. Like I see why a lot of people had trouble watching it.
Okay.
But I was just glued to it. I ripped right through it.
Nice.
And I'm excited because the Conversations with a Killer series on Netflix that they have Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy out, they're releasing Jeffrey Dahmer episodes on October 7th.
Oh.
So it's literally just the interview tapes from him in prison. So you get to hear straight from his mouth what happened.
Wow, we all need to call in sick on the 7th, I think, and
right.
and just watch all the stuff. Damn.
But
okay.
From what I've read, and as far as I knew about the Dahmer case, the Netflix show is just scarily accurate. Like there's only I think two things in the show that they kind of changed a little bit, and I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what those two things were, but they were very, very minor.
Okay.
It was like, something in his room was different, or like,
oh, sure.
I don't know, something about like what he ate in prison or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. But basically, it is dead nuts accurate. And Evan Peters is eerily good as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I
keep hearing that he's like not going to be an American Horror Story, and I'm like, please give the dude a break after this. Oh my god, and get him therapy.
Yeah, let him reprise. Let him reprise his Ralph Boner role as a palate cleanser for this, and then
right.
Boner.
Oh man! All right, okay, good. I just haven't gotten around to watching that yet, and I wanted to get a little insight on it. One of the funniest things I've seen is a meme of just Evan Peters as Dahmer and everyone saying, "Man, this Napoleon Dynamite sequel is really dark."
So there's that one, and then there's the one of the poster, but instead of Evan Peters, it's Napoleon Dynamite, and it just says Dahmer. A friend of mine posted it, and she was like, "Pedro's head is in the fridge."
Oh.
Like, oh.
Oh,
And then
all
all
right.
over TikTok, there's a scene where he's hella drunk and he just starts dancing, like total
Uh-huh.
drunk dancing. And
Yeah.
all over TikTok, they're posting it to different songs, and like some of the good ones are obviously "Goodbye Horses."
Right. Yeah.
There was another one that was, I think "Pony" by
Yeah.
Genuine. There was one like that. "Return of the Mac," and
Okay.
just like all these different songs, and it's so funny. But I mean, it's kind of fucked up. They it's funny because it's Jeffrey
Right.
Dahmer, and there's a
Yeah.
whole discourse around this series because people are all up in arms because Netflix is making money off of
Right.
exploiting the families and the whole
Hmm.
thing, and I'm
Yeah.
just kind of like, guys, this has been happening for years. Like,
Right.
there's you're not freaking out over the 8 million other serial killer shows that are out there. Like, why is
Right.
this one?
Yeah.
This is the one you're gonna choose to the hill to die on?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. All right.
but anywho,
All right.
and I just started watching Interview with the Vampire
Okay.
because I just so I have a question. I have AMC. Like,
Yes.
I turn on AMC, it plays whatever's on AMC.
Mm-hmm.
I have the channel in my cable package. Can't
Right.
watch Interview.
Right.
I can only watch the first one, and then it's like I have to subscribe to AMC Plus.
Yeah, it's an
Like,
AMC Plus original, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. So that's how they get you. So yeah, it's weird.
like I have HBO. I don't have to pay for HBO Go separately. Like, it doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
But there
Yeah,
are
and
HBO Plus shows that are specific only to HBO Plus.
HBO Max. Yeah.
Max,
And so
whatever.
right, yeah. Well, and so it's weird. So Peacock operates differently. If you have Peacock as part of your cable package, you get all of their streaming shows regardless of whether or not they go to regular cable or not, which is interesting. And I don't know if that works out like HBO does, which it probably does, right? But yeah, AMC, Paramount, obviously they have their separate service, but yeah, a lot, it's ways to make money. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, I think that sucks.
Right. Yeah.
But Interview
So,
with the Vampire is really good.
Okay.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
I
Hot
heard that.
take coming in from
right.
Jobin.
I heard that about the first episode that so far it's like so far so good. It's sort of hitting all the notes that it's supposed to hit, and what do you think?
Yeah, I it took a minute to kind of get what because they're kind of doing a little weird thing in the beginning
Okay.
with Daniel, and this is like the second time he's met with Daniel, so it's kind of like I'm like, is the first movie like is this a sequel? Like,
right.
what's going on here? Because Christian Slater's name in the original was Daniel Malloy.
Right.
In the book, he never got a name. It was just the boy. So, and in the new one, the reporter's name's Daniel Malloy. So, and he's older, and I'm just like, this is interesting.
Okay.
So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah.
Other than that, Lestat is amazing.
Okay.
Louis he's doing good. I'm waiting for him to get to his Louis self-deprecating,
right.
really get into the Louis business. But
Sure.
I'm about 45 minutes into the first episode. It's already gay as hell, and I love
it. Wait, it's fall and Joe's watching gay vampires. Go on.
I am a happy girl.
Oh my god. She's got her pumpkin spice latte and bloodletting. Yes. Sorry, I can't not do George Takei impressions.
Right.
I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited too that they're making the Mayfair Witches right on the back of this.
That's right. Yeah.
Who are they?
Anne Rice's other big novel series that it's her witch novel series as opposed to the vampires.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering the question.
All right. Okay. Anything more for the scary stuff?
The Midnight Club, but I will wait and we can dish on that on your streaming.
Yeah, well, you know what? I wasn't going to mention that because I thought, but Sorry,
Or we'll
immediate point.
do it now.
Let's just dig in.
Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, first off, immediate points to any trailer that uses Possum Kingdom in any way, shape, or form. I love that it's the musical thing through the whole. I mean, just the piano notes in the beginning, and then digging into the song and the meat of it, and then going into the creepy vocal part at the end.
Right.
It's just so good, and so offers just immediate cred to whatever. But it again, just a very cool. I mean, I thought the trailer was done pretty well. It definitely got me interested in the story about, these hospice kids that are sort of hanging on, but no, don't go down there. No, really, I was joking, but no, don't go down there. So yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait to watch this. What did you think of the trailer, Joe?
Oh, it was awesome, and totally got me hooked. So I will, full disclosure, I was a little bummed because when I first heard about this, my love Rahul was not in it. Right. And I was like, yes. Oh, I'm still going to watch it because it's Flanagan and everybody else is in it. But I was a little like, oh, my boy. But after the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, I'm super stoked for this. Like this, it's got my interest now. I've never read any of the books, so I have no idea, no frame of reference.
Right. Yeah.
But it looks great. And then I got the added surprise of, surprise, Rahul is in it. So,
oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yep, nice. It got leaked.
Surprise Cooley? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Ayo.
So, that got leaked. It was supposed to be a surprise, like you weren't supposed to find out until you see him in the show. But somehow it got leaked, and they were like, it's a bummer, but yay, he's in it.
Nate, you saw this, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't watch this trailer?
Nope.
Oh, for shame. All right. Well, five lashes in public, and then we'll be all right.
Cool. Well, I've got a whip on the wall. I can just take it off and do it on the podcast.
Well, all right. No need to break out your dungeon toys.
Yes.
All right. I totally forgot about Midnight Club. So I'm glad you brought that up. All right. Are we ready for Marvel Minutes?
The Marvel Minute.
So much has happened in the last month, and I'm not going to go over it all because we would not have time. No. I'm just going to keep it kind of tight to a couple main topics, and we're going to go from there.
Like a toiga.
We're not going most recent first. That'd be too easy. The first thing we're going to talk about is how Ryan Reynolds fucking broke the internet earlier this week with his Deadpool 3 reveal, and just kind of hey Hugh walking in the background, you want to play Wolverine again? Sure Ryan, as he's walking up the stairs. And then we get the Deadpool logo with the big Wolverine claws slashing through it, and it's actually coming out like in a couple years. Holy fuck, like blow up the internet, heads are exploding, fanboys are squeeing and brawling and whatever vocalization they choose. Holy shit. I was not ready for this. This came out of nowhere. It wasn't even like during a thing or gently connected to a thing. It was just boom. Hey guys, let's talk about Deadpool 3. I've got nothing, but I do have one idea, and it's Hugh Jackman in the background. Anyway, thoughts, people, help me out.
No, I love the follow up on with them. It's like, we know you have a lot of questions.
Yeah. You broke the internet 2 days in a row, basically.
Right. Logan takes place in 2029. We're not going to worry about that. And then they get the voiceover, the song going over, and then they do all that stuff.
Yeah. They're acting out.
Man. I mean, just to see these two on screen doing what they do, like,
it's going to be so
like,
great.
that's going to, like, it can't not be amazing. I mean, come on.
Right. And he's been poking at Hugh Jackman forever.
Forever, right?
I mean, no, the setup for this movie has been, I mean, going on for how long? I mean, come on.
I mean, he had a Hugh Jackman cut out from a magazine in Deadpool 1, stapled over his face. Hello. Yeah. And then there's all kinds of back and forth stuff. What's great about this is it really kind of dovetails nicely into the MCU, because at the end of the second Deadpool movie, he's fucking time traveling and
Right.
jumping universes, basically. So
Yeah.
very easy to roll that into what's happening with the MCU, especially given what's going to happen by the time this movie comes out, because you're going to get like not multiverse of madness, Quantumania, a bunch of the Ant-Man stuff, and they're just going to open that up to even more universes and worlds and that kind of thing. So it'd be really cool if like we get to, this is what softly introduces the X-Men. Maybe they're universe hopping to try and take out like a rogue Deadpool variant or something like that, and they end up running
Right.
into like a group of mutants in a school somewhere. Or I don't know, there's so many things that could be done, but
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I kind of want like I not to necessarily directly connect those two movies, but
No.
I would love it if Ryan's current Deadpool takes out the one from what movie was that, where they put the swords on the end of his arms and
Oh, he did that already. He did that in Deadpool 2. He actually went back and
that's right.
killed
Oh no,
that
that's
guy.
right. They totally
Along
did.
with
Oh, that's right.
himself as Ryan Reynolds before he signed the Green Lantern.
That's
contract.
right. That's right. Oh no, that's totally right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
That
Then
was the
It's
thing.
been done.
But that's okay, because if it exists in one universe, it could exist in others. So
That's right.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the podcasts and sites that I watch and listen to have been talking about it like, oh shit,
Right.
this is going to be crazy. This is how it could
Yeah.
possibly fit, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
super excited for that. That's coming quite a ways away, but something that's coming very soon in November is fucking Black Panther 2. Wakanda Forever, man. Holy shit. New trailer dropped, gave away like all the goodies, hopefully not all the goodies, but a very large number of goodies, with a really good look at Namor and his winged feats and
Foot feathers.
the foot. Yeah, exactly.
Foot feathers.
His Icarus wings on his ankles, which is super comic accurate. We got to see Ironheart in a couple kind of blurry shots and an inside the helmet thing. So Riri Williams and her Iron Man or Ironheart Mark 1, Mark 2 potentially armor. Super cool. There's a bunch of great kind of shoot, I forget the name of the civilization. No, I've got it here. The based more on like Mayan and Incan civilizations.
Isn't it like Talocan or something like
Yeah,
that?
Tulakan or something like that, I think is what it is. Yeah.
Right.
There it is. Talokan.
Talocan.
Yeah, so instead of making it Atlantis, that's one of the big changes, is that it's based in actual real civilizations like Mayan /
Right.
Incan
Yeah.
cultures. So it'll be really cool to see how that gets pulled off. But and then gave us a reveal of a Lady Black Panther at the end, which is all but confirmed that it's Shuri, his
Right. Yeah, and the big tell
sister. Yeah.
The big tell, I guess, was when she looks up in the funeral stuff. She has the white dots painted on her face, which are which against is an actual custom of that. But then the Black Panther costume that we see at the end has those same dots. Yeah. So
yeah, it could be his wife if they ended up getting married before T'Challa died, but I don't think so. I think it's Shuri, and she takes over in the comic books. It would make a lot of sense. I'd be fine with it either way. What would be really cool though is if it's Shuri, because she's the tech queen, tech goddess of that world. That the suit's going to have a lot more new goodies and gadgets. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah,
to see what happens there. So there's a bunch going on with this movie. I mean, I'm super stoked at the way they've changed Namor. I'll be very interested to see how this plot works itself out. So my favorite theory so far is that there's a shadow government that basically wants vibranium, right? Because now Wakanda's out in the world. They've basically exposed themselves to everybody in a good way to want to help the people of the world. But then you also always have the assholes wanting power and money to the end of everything. Right. And so there's going to be this shadow government, small country shadow government that wants vibranium but can't get it. So they foment this war. They create this war out of whole cloth between Namor's people and the Wakandans, so that Namor attacks Wakanda. We saw the flooding scenes and that kind of thing. There's this whole war, and then while that's happening, said shadow government slips in, gets the vibranium. There's some kind of reveal towards the end, like Von Doom Industries or something, and then boom, you've got Doctor Doom in the MCU. I would love for him to be like a villain that could sit in the background for like 5 or 6 movies. You know, we already talked about
Sure.
potentially Cavill getting cast as that, and I would fucking love that.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite so far. As far as
Okay.
the A story goes, I'm not sure what they're going to do with other stuff, but
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to throw my head in as far as guessing how this is going to go down.
Okay.
What else? A lot of stuff with Black Panther. So the director, Ryan Coogler, almost walked away from making movies after Chadwick Boseman died.
Oh, wow.
He was basically baby, I'm trying to think where the quote is here. I had it a second ago. I was at a point when I was like, I'm walking away from this business. I didn't know if I could make another movie, period, let alone another Black Panther movie, because it hurt so much. I was like, how can I open myself up to feeling like this again? Yeah, that original Black Panther movie, apparently the cast was super tight, and it was just, I mean, obviously it was an iconic movie in so many ways, culturally and every other way. But to the point where the Black Panther 2 actors made a pilgrimage to Chadwick Boseman's grave before they started filming Black Panther 2. Like all of the key players were there. And
oh, wow.
yeah. And so, let's see, like Lupita Nyong'o was quoted saying, you know, it was essential to have that moment to physically go and pay our respects and to be with members of his family. They gave me emotional allowance to step back into the world in a way that I couldn't have known I needed until I was there. So there's a lot of things pointing to this being like a super personal, super emotional kind of journey through this movie. So
yeah, and almost cathartic to make, I guess it sounds like.
Seems like it would be. And it's going to be one of the longer run times too. It'll be almost 3 hours, I think 2:46 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm obviously here for. That's my shit. Tickets went on sale yesterday and I have tickets. So
nice.
I'm taking Addie and Annie and potentially a couple of Annie's sons to that. So that should be interesting.
Okay. And are we dressing up at all?
Probably, you know, how do you dress up for a Black Panther movie as a bunch of white people and not make it cringy?
That's right. No, you're right.
Like,
you're not wrong there.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to wear all white, like, you know, that scene, but you know, I don't need to look like Stay Puft any more than I do. So, I mean, maybe I'll just wear a little sailor hat and a white t-shirt and just, you know, hey guys. Anyway, nobody wants to see that. So, yeah, super excited for that. So we've got tickets for Friday, that opening night. It'll be fun.
Okay.
What else we got? I got a lot of Black Panther stuff. I think we just went through it all. So we're good there. But we talked about the movie monsters for Marvel Phase 5 through 6. That'll be really cool. We talked about the Deadpools. Disney Plus reportedly scrapping upcoming MCU shows in favor of specials and feature films. So they just recently announced that the Armor Wars, that was going to be a Disney Plus series, is going to be a movie now. I'm kind of concerned about that. I think it would have been very cool to make that into a series, but maybe there's not enough meat on that bone. I'm not sure.
And that's, you know what? I mean, and that's, if I would rather watch a really good, you know, 90 to 2 hour movie versus invest in, I don't know, 6 or 8 half-hour episodes where they try to fill a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So,
you know, I don't know. I don't know. Something like that could go so many different ways. Like, I feel like you almost need a series to explore it all. Like, all I want back is Justin Hammer. Like,
right.
Let him come back and dance around. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, it would be great. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Apparently there's, you know, we've got the Werewolf by Night, and then we're going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special coming up. So apparently they're planning. So the Werewolf by Night is actually a Marvel Studios special presentation. So it has like the old HBO kind of color logo thing at the front with the little sunburst off the eye. Apparently they're planning a lot more of those. A lot more. They're planning several more of those. And then depending on how these, the ones that are already planned, depending on how those draw and perform, they might make more. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
Hopefully that doesn't mean, or hopefully that means we won't lose any other stuff that's planned, because there's a lot of great stuff planned.
Yeah.
But let's see. You mentioned this last time we talked, Annie. It's been a long time, but there's a bunch of photos released from She-Hulk where it shows the 6'5" on-set actress towering over the actors.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
filling up doorways with green arms and stuff.
Yeah.
Check those photos out. Those are really cool if you guys have a chance. And that is a really good segue into Marvel and DC actors unite at star-studded wedding. James Gunn got married to Jennifer Holland, who is from the Suicide Squad. She's the blonde special agent from the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
And they just got married. And so everyone was there. All of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, all of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker people were there. And the pictures are fucking amazing. So do yourself a favor. There's a lot of great black and whites. It'd be cool to throw some of these into the show notes. But there's a couple different groups. They've got a whole group of him with the Guardians of the Galaxy folks, and then a picture of him with all of the Suicide Squad people, and then one with all the Peacemaker folks in it. So
nice.
Apparently they had a softball game planned for earlier either in that day or that weekend where you were either red for Marvel or blue for DC. And so it was Marvel versus DC softball. I kind of think the DC's got to take that if you've got fucking John Cena on your team, but maybe he can't.
But you know what, man? Leave it to James Gunn to bring these worlds together.
Yeah. Let's go. Like Marvel versus DC movie is going to happen eventually. We might as well give it to. Let's do co-directors with James Gunn and Taika Waititi and see what happens.
There you go. There you go.
Get the crazies in the room and see what springs forth. Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. And I think. There's a couple more. So they are recasting Thunderbolt Ross for the MCU, which we knew was going to happen. I mean, we didn't know, but because of the Thunderbolts thing that's coming out soon. And somebody mentioned Sam Neill. Was that one of you guys? Because he played the original OG Ross back in one of those early Hulk movies, not the one with
no, that was the Ang Lee one.
Yeah, but he's a Ross. Yeah. And in that universe, it could be, maybe it's an alternate Ross. Anyways, the recasting Ross, and this kind of leads into all but confirmed thing. Harrison Ford's going to be in the MCU at some point here. It's been confirmed that the head of Star Wars prevented Marvel from announcing him at D23. That has been confirmed.
Oh, really?
So that tells you that he's going to be in a major role somewhere in the MCU. I don't think it's going to be Thunderbolt Ross. It could be, but I mean, Thunderbolt Ross is supposed to be the Red Hulk eventually. So I don't think we're going to get any of that out of Indiana, because he's about to ride into the sunset with that franchise. So we'll see. It'll be cool just to see a cool little cameo. Let's see what else. There's a lot going on with She-Hulk. It looks like that's kind of winding down after the last character study. Did you guys watch the most recent episode from last week?
I didn't.
Oh god, it's so good.
It was
Tim Roth is a fucking treasure. That's all I gotta say.
No, he really is. Yeah, this version of Abomination and Emil Blonsky is just fantastic. And even if there's like no ulterior motive with how he's acting or doing anything, it's still genius. Yeah. But even if they do, bring it in well, I mean, one of the points, and Joe, when you get around to this, you'll see they have to go out to see him because his ankle bracelet is broken, right?
Yeah.
Which could
a whole retreat, and
so I mean, you can sort of guess that he probably turned into the Abomination, which is why his ankle bracelet thing broke. Right. So anyway, but I mean, and while we're here, let's just give it up to Madison.
Oh my god, I love her.
By far the best character introduced in the MCU in a while.
I need a Wongers and Madison show for real.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
That part of that episode was just so brilliant and so good. And
Wongers and Madison in a Sex and the City style,
oh man, so good.
But we got to go back to this episode of She-Hulk. Joe, it's like 22 minutes or 26 minutes. You got to.
So I've seen up until the Megan Thee Stallion one. or up and through the Megan Thee Stallion one.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're a couple
So you
back,
got you got a couple, but
it's under an hour though, because they're all
Yeah.
like 26 minutes. It's terrible.
but it's, you know what I mean. It's such a different Marvel show.
Yeah,
because
it's a very
because
real,
it's
yeah.
episodic, and because like they're building to a point in a very, very different way than they normally do.
Right.
Which
there isn't
is
like world-ending threats right now. It's just her trying to figure out where she is in the world, and
right,
like all these kooky characters that are coming in. Joe, there's one point where they show Tim Roth in a group. They're like doing a group, like, you need to control your anger. And behind him, it says Abamaste. So instead of Namaste, it's Abamaste. And then they coined I'm hurting for a yurtin, because they have a sweat yurt where you can go sweat and commune. And
right.
And there's Porcupine Man and a guy who thinks he's a vampire, and there's a man bull, and I am not a matador, except for I did some light matadoring in college. And like, you, Joe, please, you have to. It's fucking hilarious.
No,
please live tweet this, watching this episode. Actually, that would be so great. So a lot happening in She-Hulk kind of revealed what was going on in the background, and we'll leave that for Joe, even though it's pretty obvious. But everything leading up to this, now people are trying to figure out who the actual big bad, who is Hulk King. It's probably going to be, oh shit, I lost his name. The Thinker is his name?
The Leader.
The Leader, thank you, the Thinker. He has a big brain, ergo thinking. So the Leader from Ed Norton Hulk movie, when he got the blood splattered on his brains. And Intelligentsia apparently is supposed to be this crazy group in the comics where it's the Leader and MODOK and a bunch of other, big brain baddies. And trying to create their own Hulk army, or Hulks that they can control. So this is going to come to a head pretty quick. The other thing about She-Hulk that's come up lately is like, where the fuck is Daredevil? They definitely should not have shown him in the goddamn previews.
But they tease
this is about to be over.
Yeah, but they tease him with the helmet.
That's perfect.
When they go to the costume guy.
That's perfect. We don't actually see what happens, like they did in the overshare.
But again, the nature of the show is I don't know that they need to spend a whole lot of time on Daredevil, especially if Daredevil's getting a season 1 of 24 episodes of something like that. Right?
No, they definitely don't. It's that they just don't need to stop giving away cool shit. Like, let that happen in the episode and people go, holy fuck, Daredevil. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway.
But it seems like Daredevil would have seemed like the very perfect thing to give that bonus credit scene to at the end of the series.
Yeah, well, and Matt Murdock, apparently they're trying to figure out, like, why the fuck is he in LA? Because Daredevil's a Hell's Kitchen boy, but apparently he got his ass kicked and now he's hiding out from the Kingpin and all that stuff, maybe. So,
if he needed a new helmet, he had to go get this helmet.
Yeah, exactly. He got a trip to LA for the super helmet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so kind of trampled over the Harrison Ford wrap up there, but we're good to go.
But that's okay.
There's so much other stuff happening, and I'm just going to leave it there. Wah, 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 wah.
All right. So great job, Nate. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk streaming service selections, and obviously I'll leave those bigger ones towards the end. But let's get the little guys out of the way first. So one of the shows that I really liked last year that is now coming back on Paramount Plus is Ghosts, and that started back up this week. So again, that's such a great, funny little 22-minute show to watch, and so fun. And I'm just glad that it's back. So perfect in time for Halloween if you want some fun.
So apparently, real quick, before you move on from Ghosts, I think I mentioned this before. Apparently the British version is 10 times better. And we have to watch it. So if there's ever a lull, we got that on deck.
Yeah. Okay. Good call. Good call. Yes. Also, what's been back, and I think we're on episode 6 or episode 7 right now, is Star Trek Lower Decks. And this is so good and so great. This season is is so good so far, and just man, I love the show so much. Keeping on the animated trip, on Hulu, there's a great show, and I should have mentioned this at the end of the horror corner, but it's horror adjacent. It's a show called Little Demons on Hulu.
Oh
and
yeah, Danny DeVito.
this
right?
this is a great animated series with Danny DeVito voicing Satan. His daughter, I believe, voices the main character, if I'm not mistaken. Aubrey Plaza voices the mom. Michael Shannon, Eugene Cordero also provide voices here, and it's fun. It's such a great show, and so the premise is that I thought I would never ever say this out loud, but Danny DeVito and Aubrey Plaza end up having a baby. In the show, their characters have a baby, and it's the Antichrist, and that's who the little teenage girl is. And so it's all around her figuring out her powers and all that stuff, and it is a very well written show and a lot of fun to watch. And they're releasing it week by week, which is great. And I didn't realize this until like it was 6 episodes in. Ran through the first 6 episodes, and I was like, fuck, I gotta wait. I gotta wait for the next one. God damn it. So that's rolling and that's going, and it's such a great show. If you guys again need some good anime to sink your teeth into, it's really good. I would be remiss if I did not mention Cobra Kai season 5 on Netflix. This season's really good. We're slow burning through this season. We're 2 episodes left on this, and it's really good. They've really sort of dug their teeth.
No spoilers.
No, they've dug their teeth into Terry Silver being sort of the big bad, and it's working. And it's really good. A lot of great turns and a lot of, I mean, again, William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence. He's so good and so great. Again, they're killing it this season. If you like Cobra Kai in any way, shape, and form, and again, the way that they're doing it, they're still interspersing the old movie footage with their story points here, and it all adds up and makes sense, which is great. So, another thing we watched, and again, another thing that I probably should have brought up on the horror corner, is The Devil in Idaho on Netflix.
I've been meaning to watch this.
Okay. No, this was a good show. It's a very interesting take on sort of the religious, like, you know, the religious sect version of a horror story, right? And but a really great premise along this. And you find this out again in the first 10 minutes. A girl who shows up to a hospital with a pentagram drawn on her back, carved in, right?
Cool.
Yeah. And she ends up getting fostered by a family, and shit happens. Doesn't necessarily end up the way that you think it's going to end up, which is very cool. And there's there's some of those moments in the series where you think, oh, now that guy's gone, and it doesn't happen, right? So it's really, really good. It's very fun, and I mean, but in terms of the storytelling, and it's a good watch. Side kitten wise, it's probably like a 6 or 7.
Side kitten wise is the best.
Yeah.
Sorry.
With that, I think I will start with Rings of Power. And Joe, I believe you have Cindy's take on Rings of Power, which, before we get too deep into this, I would love to hear, please, I would love to hear Cindy's take on Rings of Power so far.
So she's watched everything. She's like up until like the most recent episode. So she's 1 episode behind.
Okay.
So far, Khazad-dûm was perfect. She loved it. She was like, it's exactly how I pictured it reading the books. It's exactly how I pictured it looking back to or new as
Mhm.
opposed to what we saw in the movies. Perfect,
Right.
perfect. Loved it. And as far as the rest of it, she gives the writers serious kudos for making a story out of what is basically an encyclopedia of Tolkien knowledge. She's like, it
Right.
has a story and a plot that's, actually worthwhile watching and,
Yeah.
not boring as hell. The actors did a great job acting, but she is not happy with the casting, which
Okay.
is kind of similar to what I was saying about it. Like Elrond, he doesn't seem like Elrond, Like I
Uh-huh.
don't buy this dude aging into Hugo Weaving. So
Okay.
it's kind of that's similar take on that. She's like with the Gladriel, she's like I can see her aging into Kate Blanchett. That's a little better.
Okay.
So we're just
But
talking
yeah,
about we're talking about
Celeborn
looks
and
here specifically. Is that
yeah, looks specifically. She said the acting's great, but it's just like the casting, the look. And she's like, I'm not really happy there. But the sets are great, so better than I expected. I figured she was going to be like, I hate it, it's stupid. I'm just going to
Right.
watch the Lord of the Rings movies over and over again until I croak.
Yeah.
But yeah, she liked it. She has some critiquing, but less than I
Of
thought she
course.
would.
I was gonna
Okay.
say,
No.
is there a hot take on the black elves we can get in trouble with? Never
She
mind.
did not give a hot take.
Uh,
Just the beardless dwarven women. Damn it.
all right.
And she loves the dwarven wife.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't remember her
Amazing.
name. She's like, I could watch her forever. I love her to pieces. She's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah, so this show is I think is fantastic. And again, I think the real win for us here and as just being Lord of the Rings fans is that this is going to go on for a while. Like this is a story that they can sort of slow burn, and take their time to tell.
Yeah. 4
with
seasons,
it.
I think, is what they've signed up for. Yeah.
Right.
Billion
Yeah, and
dollar
second
spend over
season
4
just
seasons.
started. Second season just started production, I heard.
Yeah, I did today.
Yeah. So
In the UK instead
but
of in New Zealand, actually, for some reason. I'm not sure why, but
yeah, I don't know. But no, I'm totally invested in this story so far. Like I think it's really good. I think it's despite Cindy's reservations, I love the casting. I think it's great. I mean the dwarves are I think the dwarves are perfect so far. I really love the Heartfeet people. I think that's a fun group to I'm still I feel like they get in terms of the story right now. I think that they're sort of getting left behind just because they've been on their sort of Frodo quest, right, to get to their new spot, and so we haven't really seen them. We've just seen them walking.
yeah.
so
Next step, I
far,
think, is supposed to be on them.
right? Yeah, and that was the next. Yeah, but then, man, this last episode with the defense of the village and the orcs coming in, and then I just thought that was really cool. I really love the entire sequence. No, we got this, and then nope, you don't got this, and
Well,
then
yeah.
no, wait, we got this.
Most of them aren't orcs; they're their own people that they dressed
Right.
up as orcs. Like, oh god,
Yeah.
I was calling
So,
this out too. Like, there's no way that this supposedly brilliant general is sending his people in with torches at night. Like, hey, look at me! You know?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there it is. Everyone's dead from the forest line. Like,
Yeah.
brutal.
So I just know I'm like I said, I'm on the edge of my seat for every Friday night here when this comes out. So Nate, how are you feeling about this?
I'm vibrating on every frequency. I love this show. It looks so man, you were talking about your TV last time. This show looks so fucking good in 4K, like on a okay. So my girlfriend now refuses to watch it at her house. This is the way this is going. She's like, I would rather wait and watch it at your house. Like, wow, okay, because you really love this show. We've been doing, like, for House of the Dragon, we've been doing a kind of, we'll text each other. We'll start at the same time and then text each other, holy shit, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this show, it's become a thing where we just have to watch it because it looks so fucking good. Like, so the set designers and the cinematographers and the wardrobe people, and they're all winning awards. That, like, Galadriel's armor with the plate mail is fucking ridiculous. It's so good, and seeing that actress in it was just like, holy shit, she is badass. I could totally see this happening.
Yeah, but I really love, and I can't remember his name, Homeboy's armor with the face in it.
Oh yeah, Homeboy. Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're right. Homeboy. Jesus, Andy.
That's
the elf. What's his name? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know Adar because he's the bad guy. I forget what the good guy's name is. But yeah, that because that broke out in the beginning, right? He had that at the beginning,
right?
Yeah, those are still really cool. I think I'm probably going to try to 3D print that, and I'll put that up on my wall or something.
That would be cool.
That seems like a cool one. This last episode was basically like the reveal of Mount Doom and the creation of Mordor, basically, because it's like hell on earth now after the eruption.
Right.
Was really cool. I do love the way they ended the scene with her kind of Galadriel kind of walking into it.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's go.
That was so nuts.
Next week's going to be crazy. I really love the sequence where Galadriel chases down Adar with the sword hilt on horseback. And that whole thing with Halbrand, like, almost killing him. And apparently people think he's Sauron because of this. So follow this real quick. So he's super angry at Adar, chases him down with a spear. We saw Sauron with a spear earlier. Sauron also takes many forms and that kind of thing. It would make sense if Adar tried to kill him, which he basically does. He asks if Adar remembers him. He doesn't. Yeah. Which could be just, I was a kid when whatever. Then he's also hailed as the king of the Southlands, and it's kind of awkward. And he goes, yes, I am the king you were promised, or whatever. And his armor is literally made of fucking rings.
Right.
So they were pointing that out on Nerdist, I think. Like, so anyway, there's and then he swapped the sword hilt for a hammer at the end, or at least somebody did, but we think it might have been him. Which means that he gave it to Waldreg, who's the guy that turned the mechanism that flooded the everything. So there's a lot of stuff going on there.
No, that would be good.
Adar escapes mysteriously. We don't know how. So that's another thing. I have a quick just clarification. Yeah. Is
Adar the same guy who played Benjen Stark?
Yeah. That's a great fucking call. I mean, I think so. It looks just like him.
No, it really does, and it's like, man, this guy's playing the the undead, the dark versions of people really well.
Yeah, holy shit, you're right. I think Joseph Madaway. Let's see. It looks just like him.
It is.
Holy shit!
It totally is. It is Benjen Stark.
Yeah, there he is. Adar, Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Right on.
Nice.
Great call out.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously he didn't have the beard and everything, but he, it's the same face that he had at the end of Game of Thrones. It's just like, God, that's gotta be Benjen Stark. But like, they would they do that? Would they do that? And they did it. So anyway,
yeah. So overall, I love it. It looks fantastic. It's a great escape. I really get sucked into that show when I watch it. I'll purposely, like, lately I've been purposely, if it's just me, pulling like a recliner to as close as I can to the TV without it being ridiculous.
Nice.
Just to kind of immerse myself even more. Cause like with good surround sound and a great TV, it's magical. It's a teleporter.
Yeah.
I love it.
So. Yeah. I mean, no. And you nailed it. Regardless of the content, which is fantastic. Yep. It is a beautiful show to watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Joe, I know we got Cindy's part of this. What's your part of this?
I'm not caught up yet, so I don't really have a part yet.
Fucking Jobin.
Did we just spoil shit for you?
No,
we spoiled shit.
We did.
It's okay. I'll get to it.
Get to it.
Damn it! Why didn't you stop us?
Don't stop watching B-movie horror bullshit and watch the A-list stuff we talk about.
No.
No.
Keep watching that stuff. Just also.
I just have to watch House of Dragon 8 million times.
Yeah, well, good luck with the most recent episode, because apparently it's dark as shit for most people. So we'll talk about that here shortly.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But up until all that I have seen, I'm like stoked on, and
Okay.
it looks great.
okay. All right. You are caught up on House of the Dragon, though, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
All
am.
right. Well, let's dig into this beast, man. Interesting. So we're getting the story with time jumps here and there, like they're exponentially sort of time jumping with each episode. And like we get the first episode and then we get 3 months, and then the next episode and we get like a year, and then the next episode we get like 3 years, and then now it goes 10 years.
10 years later, yeah.
And we finally get the older actresses in for Rhaenyra and Alicent. I was worried that they would sort of miss a beat.
They
And
were
it
there
would
in the
be
last one too, weren't they?
No, yeah, we've had 2 episodes now
Okay,
with them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I wasn't going
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
No. And well, yeah, and so but yeah, I thought that they would miss a beat a little bit with the older actresses, and it would be weird, but it's not.
No.
It was
they go
cast
way deeper and darker. Holy shit. Allison is terrifying in this episode.
Yeah, dude. Olivia Cook, who Nate, we all know that you love from Ready Player One.
Yeah.
That
She was
that
actually one of the
masterpiece
good
of a
things
movie.
about that.
That
movie.
is her. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Don't make me hate her.
Yeah,
No,
right?
The movie was so
Oh,
bad.
don't make
Okay.
me hate Sam.
Yeah. But and then God, and it's I'm blanking now on the actress playing Rhaenyra, but like Emily Watts, something like that.
No idea.
Anyway, it's
Emma Darcy.
Emma Darcy. Thank you so much. Their first scene, giving birth, and then Alicent wanting to see the baby right away, and her walking through the castle. Like, that was her first scene that we got to see.
That was intense.
Like, that was just out of control. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if y'all could like feel that as she was walking through, but
yeah.
like,
Yep.
man.
Yeah, and then having to stop,
Like-
and she's like, "Oh fuck," and like just bleeding
Right.
everywhere. Like, yeah.
Oh,
And then she gets there,
God.
and Allison's, "Oh, you should be resting." Like, yes, bitch.
right.
You told me. To
Yeah.
get here. Ugh, that was brutal.
Yeah. And
That was-
Viserys is still
That was a while ago, though. That was the episode before this.
that was
Yeah.
the first episode with the older actresses.
Right,
that
right,
was
right.
that was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
It's been a month since we've talked about this, so
Yes.
we're catching up on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that her introduction to Rhaenyra in our eyes was I mean, there's really like no better way to get behind a character
Mhm.
than that scene right there. Like, I mean, I just thought that was so incredibly well done. Yeah, I mean, like week to week, like I don't know, like you figure that, you know, like these normal shows have sort of ups and downs, and like this, they're sort of hitting it out of the park every week.
Yeah, agreed.
For me.
It's so good. And then, especially with this most recent episode, you're gonna see 5 fucking dragons at once. There could have been
Well-
more, maybe, but good. That's what I've been asking for this whole time. Even though it was brief, like I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Even though it was dark as shit and you could barely see anything.
I could see everything just fine. Actually,
Yeah.
on my sensitive.
Right? Yeah.
No,
I was-
dark.
I was
though.
watching-
Some of the stuff was still dark.
Well, it's weird when they do that date. So they shoot the episode at daytime, but then they put that weird night filter on it.
Yeah, well, apparently that's this director's MO because he's the guy who did the super dark episodes of Game of Thrones
Right.
years ago
Yeah.
that everyone complained about. Like, hey, dude,
Right.
we get it, but use some
Yeah.
modern tech because a lot of people don't have like crazy OLED brightness, crazy TVs that they can see that shit
Yeah.
with. So fucking,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
And when Damon and Rhaenyra finally get together, I couldn't see a damn thing because it
Oh,
was the darkest
right.
part of the episode.
Oh, no, Job.
Yeah.
Okay, Job, and
Like,
you're allowed to come
damn.
over and just watch that 10 minutes or whatever it was.
Okay. Yeah. Would you mind going shopping or something?
Right, exactly. I'll be back.
I can't
in
watch
an
this
hour.
around you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be back in an hour. I loved what they did with or is it with the fucking, what's the name of the dragon?
Vagar?
The big one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the thing where I know. Are you guys watching the little after parts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh geez, you have to.
So
After, so good. Oh my
dude,
god.
Right out, it's like 2 minutes after the episode where the
right
people
it.
who write it and direct it, they discuss like some of the big points of it.
Oh, so good.
And I forget, it was one of the first episode where we get the older actresses where it says, yeah, and the focus now, sort of turns. We still get a lot of Rhaenyra and Alicent, but now the focus turns to the kids,
Right.
And the ultimate succession of power in Westeros. And and I think that this episode, well, obviously the first episode where the kids are training in the courtyard, and Christian Cole and I forget his name, but Strong,
Harwin Strong.
Yeah,
Harwin Strong.
right. Yeah, they're sort of having their sort of penis measuring moment with the boys, right? And you get sort of the tension there with everybody, right? But then like the funeral scene, and then the little of first what is that? Is that Aegon getting drunk?
Oh yeah.
on the
Aegon the
on the
second,
steps.
I think. Yeah, trying to get with the help.
Right.
Deep in his cups.
Apparently he's famous for that in the books.
Right. And then and then just the kid who didn't get the dragon and had the balls to go after Vagar, and then the scene where Daemon's kids come out and confront him, and then the Strong kids come out, and oh man, like I didn't think I was gonna get into that part of it as much as I would the rest of it, but man, no. After that little confrontation with the kids, I didn't expect to care about like the kids that much, and now, oh my god, like this is a great story.
Yeah.
This is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, the kid fight was crazy. But backing up before that, the whole scene, so one of the breakdowns I was reading earlier, was called Deep Dive of the Week: How to Claim Your Dragon. And that whole scene, so the kid is super ballsy. Obviously, he was the one that was presented with the pig, the pink dread.
Right.
They're making fun of him because he's the only one without a dragon. Out of the older ones, and with the exception of some of the other kids. But so he finally gets up the nerve to kind of, this is the night of the funeral, which is actually, the funeral is really kind of beautiful, actually. The whole ceremony and like the carving and the relief on the coffin, or the, whatever we're calling that's not a coffin, crypt thing, not
sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
You're welcome.
And then just the whole kind of delivery of it and the ceremony of it, I thought was really great. And I'm glad they spent a lot of time on it, because there were a lot of unsaid things between the eyes of the things that the uncle was saying, and our blood is strong and pure and deep, as he's looking at the brown-headed children of the blonde-headed Rhaenyra.
Right.
And Matt Smith's just laughing in the background, because he knows it's like high treason, basically, because that's the king, future king. But I love the whole scene where the kid is trying to tame this dragon, and the dragon is like, the dragon wakes up. We knew that was going to happen. The eyeball, I was so close to the screen, the eyeball was like a basketball. When the dragon opened its eye, I was like, oh my God, wait a minute, this is happening. He's going to eat this little kid. And then the dragon's like, they're going back and forth and does a little chuffing, like the, but super deep dragon style. And then the kid goes to reach for the webbing, the netting to get up to the top, because this dragon is so huge. It needs fucking netting to climb to get to the top of it. And then the dragon kind of fires up the old hearth in the back of the throat and is getting ready to melt the kid, and he throws out the High Valyrian, like, chill out, dude, I'm one of you, kind of thing. And then there's the whole first flight and the kid almost falling off a bunch of times.
I need someone to recut that scene to the Neverending Story music.
Yeah,
Right?
So that's the first thing I thought of when the dragon is running across the beach and you get like that profile. Like, come on, fly. Oh my God. Either that, so we'll do a recut to that and also to Danger Zone.
Dude, totally.
We'll go from there. But some of that imagery from that first flight, like the dragon silhouetted against the moon with the lens flare and everything, like it was fucking brilliant. And that dragon is so big, like barely can maneuver like a bomber instead of like a quick fighter like the other ones are. So it'll be
when the camera when the camera came over it like it was a real dragon, when it was over the sea and it just spans across, you're just like, oh God, it's so good. Like, man, the effects in the show have been really good so far, but I like this one in particular. Like you said, man, walking up to the dragon's head, and seeing him right there, and just like the eye. Oh God, that was
it was so well done. The tension was very real. Like you knew it probably wasn't going to go the way that it could have gone, but oh my God,
right?
Like, about to be a little candle burning on the beach there in a second.
Yeah.
Was I the only one that was like, barbecue the kid?
Right? No, absolutely.
Well, I mean, if we knew he was going to be such a shit afterwards, I would have rooted for that, because he comes back from his first flight and he's like cocky little big nuts, and it was him. It was me. And like, that was my mother's dragon. I don't give a fuck. You should have grabbed it when you had the chance. Like, oh man. And the whole fight, it was brutal. I mean, Jesus, that one kid is taking on 4 of them basically, and then the knife gets drawn and there's rocks, and like, okay, this is gonna end real bad. And then somebody lost an eye, although apparently that was foretold earlier from the sister. Said like, you're gonna have to close an eye to get your dragon or whatever. So
and then I half expected it not to go like at much further than it did, but then we get the whole confrontation of the families in the little room afterwards, where and it's just like, you're and then God, man, Olivia Cook, no, an eye for an eye. I love that part where
she loses her shit,
completely loses it. Like, she's like, you know what, no more. Like, I mean,
so but so walking that back a little bit, when the king is the boys tell the king he called us bastards or whatever, and the king's like, what? Who would say such a thing, and why? He's obviously everybody knows, and he goes over to the kid who lost the eye, and he's like, who told you this? And he looks at his mother, the king's daughter, and there was a whole moment of tension. I thought he was going to give up his mom, but then he threw his brother under the bus. Like, sorry, bro. And then the brothers just laid it out there. He's like, everybody knows, Grandpa. Like, everybody knows. Just look at them. Exactly.
Right.
And then I love how, he's defending his daughter and his daughter's kids, and basically is like, just completely ignores the truth. Like, anybody that says this shit will have their tongue cut out of their mouths and blah blah blah.
Right.
And his wife, Allison, is like, that's not enough, or that's insufficient, is what she says as the king's walking away. And he turns around like, what, bitch? Like, I'm the fucking king, and you just called me out in front of everybody. And then she goes full, I think the reviewer I was listening to said she goes full mom brain, and is like, demands Sir whatever, what's his name?
Sir Christian.
Sir Prince Valiant, give me the eye of this other little child. And he went,
right.
she's like, you're sworn to me. And he goes, yeah, as your protector, I'm not fucking crazy. Like,
yeah.
and then she grabs the knife, the Valerian dagger from Game of Thrones off hubby's belt and goes for it. Like, okay, I'll get it myself.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a super intense scene, and they played it so well. And then, obviously the cut afterwards, so Rhaenyra gets slashed and gets some cool scars and all that. But man, what a setup for the because I was texting Annie at the same time this is happening. I'm like, holy shit, this is the war starting. Because
right.
Allison's just so pissed that she's been following the rules the whole time, and Rhaenyra's been breaking them the whole time, getting away with it. And this was like the last straw, and she's like, okay, fuck you. And then this is the first time they actually refer to the Greens.
Right.
And so that's the main factions of the Greens and the Blacks. And now the Greens have Vagar. Oh, fuck.
Right.
We skipped over a lot of, where were you? Oh, I took a walk on the beach to get fucked by my uncle in the moonlight.
Yeah.
They left out that one tidbit. So yeah, somebody else talk, because I need to refill my drink here.
Well, and then that sets up, I think, after the tussle, I guess, in the little area with the kids, and then the parents afterwards. Then we get the really great scene between Rhaenyra and Daemon, basically setting up, their union and their shit, and Rhaenyra basically, calling it out where, hey, this is, we need to be together for me to be legitimate. And then, like,
oh yeah, that pesky husband of yours.
right. But then I like that whole setup too with what's his name, Laenar, I think, Valerian, right?
Yeah.
And him basically saying, hey, I'm from this point out, I'm gonna be better.
Yeah.
But then we don't see necessarily, like, she says that he's a good man, right? But we don't necessarily get his reaction, right? Or we get her reaction or her sort of like counterpoint to that. And so, but then we get it with, her explaining to Daemon like what's going to happen and what needs to happen. And then I think it's really simple. Well, he needs to die. Right. And then we get Daemon going in, killing that random dude. Right. And then going to the boyfriend and saying, we need your help here. Like, this is going to be your job, and
do it quickly in front of a lot of people.
Yeah. And oh man, like that whole part of it, like that whole scene too, I just thought, I mean, there wasn't necessarily a wasted frame in this episode, man. Like,
right. It took me a minute to put that whole scene together of like the end when they're in the boat, and like I totally didn't catch on that was later. And I'm like, after like reading some stuff, I'm like, oh shit, they button hooked everybody and they're living off their gay happy lives in Pentos.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
Right.
The question is, though, do you believe that was the plan all along, or do you think that they took the money and ran? Because
that was the plan all along.
Yeah, I don't believe the turn.
Rhaenyra loves him in a fashion. She's
right,
not
exactly.
going to she's not that bloodthirsty. She's not going to kill him.
Well, they wouldn't have spent the time and the conversation in that episode between the two of them,
right,
if she was just going to cold-blooded kill him off,
Yeah. So, the mutual respect there was I mean, has been evident,
right?
But really came to, because, well, and I think that they did this on purpose, where when, again, with the time jump and showing the kids as, oh yeah, she's been having an affair with the strong guys, and Laenar's been doing his thing, right? And they're, they've been dealing with the consequences and just sort of, kind of brushing it under as it comes up. But then to find out in the beginning or over the course of this episode that they tried to have kids, it just didn't work.
Right.
And they have been trying, they haven't been like half-assing it. They've been working really hard to try to figure this out and get it together.
Yeah.
Which shows that they have a pretty high mutual respect for each other.
Right.
So that, I mean, like, that never necessarily, I don't know that that's happened in Game of Thrones yet, right?
Right.
Where we see this sort of amicable parting of ways, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she even
Between
calls
two
it out
people.
like, you're a good man of honor. You know, it's very rare.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So usually the good men of honor die. That's what we've seen in Game of Thrones so far. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
from Ned Stark all the way down the line, they all die.
Yeah.
So and then the second first in this episode is we finally have a wedding where everybody lives. Nobody dies.
Right to your
There's
lip.
some bloodletting, but it's consensual.
Oh, with the dragon glass too, though. That was such a cool detail. I was like, wait, what are
Well,
they
and
using to
they're-
cut themselves? Oh, it's fucking obsidian. That's awesome.
Yeah. And they're in the dragon robes too, like the dragon
Yeah.
trainer robes.
Mhm.
Like, oh man, just like,
Apparently, those are the
Dude,
ancient
this-
Valyrian wedding ensemble or whatever, because that's the
Okay.
whole ceremony that they did was the whole ancient Valyrian blood.
Yeah, and I
mingling.
read somewhere that it's so with the like it's since it's a Valerian wedding, nobody can annul it or change
Right.
it. It's like
Yeah.
in blood, like
Yep.
permanent.
old stuff. And the reason they did that is because she knew that her father, the king, would try to stop it if it was anything else.
yeah.
So, yep, pretty cool stuff.
So romantic.
Right.
Who knew incest could be so romantic?
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I mean, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, really fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
very nervous about the remaining strong the spider current Lord of Harrenhal. He
Right.
is scary as fuck, and he's like, if you need an eye, I'm your man. You know?
I'll get you an eye by 3:00.
Right?
Yeah.
Seriously, you need a toe? I can get you a toe.
Yeah, I get your toe.
Yeah.
I'll get your toe.
Oh my
There are
God.
ways you don't want to know.
Yep.
So yeah, again, they're setting the chess pieces nicely in the show, and it's really well done. And yeah, after that sour season 8 Game of Thrones taste, this is a wonderful. I keep saying palate cleanser, and it's exactly what it is. I mean, this show definitely has its own
Yeah.
feet, and it's standing on its own feet.
Yeah, this is like
Very well.
This is like you getting a really bad meal at a restaurant you've come to love over a decade, and
Right.
then you go back to the restaurant and like, oh, thank God,
Yeah,
this is really
it's like a
good.
new cook.
Like it's back. The chef was off or sick or something the last time because this is
right.
great. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah.
get to see so many dragons. Oh my God.
I know. Yeah, all the dragons, they're
All the
so
dragons.
good.
Well, I mean, not all the
Yeah.
dragons. Apparently they have like 17 or something between the two of them. So-
Right, yeah, but just the shot of the funeral scene where it's showing the back of and all the dragons are sort of
Mhm,
nested
on
on,
the hill.
that
Yeah.
hill, and it's just
You know, what's really the only bummer with this show
okay.
is that it's taking Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman did this. They didn't do this. They did Dragon versus Dragon way better forever ago in the 80s with the Dragonlance
Dragonlance novels, yeah,
novels, right? That scene with the dragons on the hill and the castle in the background and all that is
Yeah.
almost directly pulled from a D&D piece of
Oh.
artwork. So I want to see if anything happens there. I doubt it, but
okay,
what I'm worried about, not worried about it. I don't want shit. How do I put this into words? I can't wait to see the dragons fight in this because that happens. I don't think we're going to
Yeah.
see any of it this season. I think maybe it'll get a teaser of it this season.
okay,
I hope it doesn't prevent like future Dragonlance stuff because it's like, oh, dragons fighting each other. They already did that. You know, I don't think it would, but
yeah,
as long as
Right.
they don't pull like shining magical lances from someplace and use those on Dragonback, we'll be fine.
right,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Raceland doesn't pop out.
Yeah,
and give us-
exactly.
You know,
Yeah, if there's a 5-headed
He is
king of the
white-haired.
dragons, I'm revolting. You know.
he's white haired. He could be a Targaryen. We don't know, right? Yeah.
That's true.
Crossover.
Good pull. Good pull.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. There's not much else to say here, man. House of Dragon is killing it, and yeah,
It just sucks
so
that
good.
Viserys is aging so garbage compared to everybody else in his family.
Right?
Like, he's
Yeah.
gonna be Gollum in the next episode.
I know,
Meanwhile,
right?
Damon's as beautiful as ever. Corlys is beautiful as ever. Like,
I mean, he's
One of the
rotting
best-
from the inside out. He has
Yeah.
leprosy.
I mean, I know he's got. Okay, so he does have something, right? It's
yeah,
like,
it's like a leprosy.
not dragon
That's
scales
sure.
or whatever
No,
whatever
it's
they
not
call it.
grayscale. No.
grayscale. But,
Yeah, it is. He confirmed it in an interview that it was leprosy.
Right.
okay.
That's why he has all the lesions and missing fingers and all that.
Yeah, or missing
Yeah.
arm at this point.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. But no, there was. I know you posted that meme in the Rum Regret chat, Joe. But there was another one that came out, and I couldn't find it afterwards. Of the Crypt Keeper.
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
"Let me see the grandchild."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
there's so many memes of just, you know, poor Allison has to go to bed with him, where Rhaenyra's
I
getting all
know.
the hot ass.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, well, you chose.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't think I would hate anybody more than Joffrey, but Alicent is like sweeping the table with him.
You know, I feel bad for Alicent. Alicent, I mean, so think about this. We've been conditioned to see Rhaenyra as the good guy because of everything we've seen so far. What has Alicent done that has been wrong at this point? Like, if you think about that, like, it would be interesting to see from her point of view, because it's not what we're seeing, right? She is basically was just an innocent kid, like child of the hand, whose father manipulated her and the king into this union to further his own power, and she's just been kind of sitting back and having kids, and now finally has grown into her power and understanding how much she can control. And now her bratty little child friend is going around fucking everybody, and her kid gets loses an eye in a fight with those kids that they've been kind of pitting against each other this whole time. I mean, I
Like,
don't
that
blame
part
her
I
for
get,
wanting
but-
for like, give me the fucking eye. Like, I get it.
That part I
Dad
get.
brain isn't the
It's
same
like-
as mom brain, but I was feeling that for a hot minute. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm just like, okay, after the 10-year jump, it's like 10 years later, her and Christian are still just butthurt as hell. It's like, you guys haven't let this go yet.
Right.
Incel Christian and
right.
fucking bratty Alicent.
Yes, exactly. This
Just
is what
like,
happens
okay,
when
you guys are like the highest people in the land. You're the queen and you're the head of like her guard. Like, get over it.
Right. Yeah.
if Get Over It worked, we would have no Game of Thrones.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Thankfully,
That's
they don't
very
have any
true.
good psychologists in this world. As long as
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
You have
shit,
dragons
guys.
and Valyrian and steel daggers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anything else? Any other?
I can't wait for next week. This week.
Yeah,
I
next
mean,
week.
this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, there's so much stuff coming up. I'm excited. So
Yeah. October 7th, the benchmark day in
Yes.
at least for us. So
I know Werewolf by Night's gonna be fucking great.
Pin mommy,
So
pin
let's
mommy,
let's call this now. So next podcast we've got Hellraiser review. We need to talk about that. We should do Werewolf by Night if Joe you can squeeze in an hour of MCU based horror classic mashup by then.
I think I can make that happen.
We should potentially have a She-Hulk update. Maybe that's not a huge deal. There might be a couple, at least one of those. We got House of the Dragon. We got fucking Lord of the Rings. There's so much happening. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can keep this keep this pace up at least for sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's any crazy tentpole thing that we need to just devote an episode to, I think these updates are good for now.
No, I totally agree. Like it's a great time. It's a great time to be us
It
right
is.
now, right?
It is. Everything's coming up. Rum and Regret.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. No, I'm right there with it. He's so good. He's so good.
It's very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, let's put it out there to the people. What do you guys think of Rings of Power, House of the Dragon? What are your favorite spots? Are there little pain points? Do you guys not like stuff? Let us know. You can find us on Twitter. We're 2,400 followers strong on Twitter right now
Woot woot.
at rum_regret. We are on Facebook at the Rum and Regret podcast. We are also on is TikTok Rum and Regret, or is that your TikTok? Nate?
No,
I
it's
keep
just Avid Gamer at TikTok.
Avid-
I'm really just posting links to the episodes on our website. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah, we've got fun content there with the
There
fun
you go.
tickety talks, but we're everywhere else.
Yeah. And the Rum and Regret on Instagram as well. So you can find us there. Joe, where can they find you on the socials?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials or at joechickadee.com.
Nice. Nate, where can they find you?
Sure, yeah, Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all your socials and gaming platforms of choice.
You can find me on Crazy Drake on Facebook, Andrew Drake on Twitter. And until the next time, we have spoken.
I'm sorry. I tried. God, we almost made it. I'm sorry.
Oh, so good.
Shit. Oh my God.
So good. Well done. Well done, people.
Incest is best.